Hey everybody, what's going on? Emo Tempest here, and we are back for another episode of Card of the Week. This is the third installment from Nightmares, and this card is Golbez. Very excited about this one. Uh, I'm a big fan of this art. It's very nice. I admire it very much. Side note, I don't know why the side panels here didn't load, but you know, I guess a little less distractions for you guys. Anyway, but Kageyama comes in here and he talks about Lightning Legend Forward, which I'm excited for. March 24th is the official release date for this set, if you didn't know. So it's about a month away. I already want to say that this is already a better looking warp card than the one we got, the Garuda we got. So let's go ahead and read this effect and see if it's that much better too. When a 4-cost Golbez Warlock, category 4, warp 4, for a lightning and a 2 colorless. When warp counter is removed from Golbez, you may play 1-drop Archfiend from your hand onto the field. When you do so, draw a card. That's pretty good. This effect will trigger only if Golbez is removed from the game. And I guess all the job Archfiend forwards you control gain 3,000 power. That's very good, actually. Kageyama goes into... let's see. Looks ability, Golbez for CP card. Yeah. So, this part's very nice. Please witness his coolness in the full art of this card. Kageyama, I love this coolness. It's very nice. But yeah, it looks like he just talks about going into, pretty much everything you can imagine. If you've been playing with us, if you've been playing this game as long as it's been out, you kind of know all the Archfiends. I know a lot of us have always built the Golbez deck. There was, the Opus 1 Golbez was the one that would bring out all the Archfiends because they were 2 costs. But with this one, it's pretty interesting. I think it's exciting that he can play a forward and draw you a card. So while not only is he combating aggro in some sense, right, by putting at least up blockers that should be able to prevent you from losing, but he also becomes a draw engine, and that allows you to progress the game for yourself as easy as possible. So I think it's very strong. A few things to know, or at least that came to me at the top of my head. We have already a few searchers for this, right? He's lightning, so we have Aldo, right? Turn 1 Aldo, turn 2 Warp. Done. Bygone, the newest one from the 4 set. He's an Earth card. Search Golbez. Doesn't really help us with the CP efficiency, but, if we're able to play 2 backups, turn 1, Bygone turn 2, Warp turn 3. We have the Sid Paladina. I don't know. Sid, one of the Sids. Searches a 4. We have him. We just got it recently. This last set too. So that would be the one of the colors. But you could pay when turn 1, play that. Search him. Turn 2, tap and pitch a lightning card, and you're dropping Golbez now. So effectively, you should be able to do this turn 2, and so. It should happen pretty easily. Now it's a matter of having the right Archfiends or any Archfiends in your hands as you do this. I guess he also talks about his choices which is this Scarjo from set 17, which I liked very much. He was very strong. I found him very, very good towards the latter half of 18. This Barbecia used to see so much play back in the day when we would play Cactuars. I don't think I've ever seen this Ruby Conte out anywhere but in the wild, but 6-drop, a free 6-drop with 9k power with a few interesting effects. When he's blocked, choose a forward, deal it 5k, and an S, choose a forward, deal it 4,000 damage. Ruby Conte gains 2,000 power until the end of the turn. That's cool. He can kind of punch up real strong there. And this Cagnazzo that kind of saw some play sometimes. Effectively in the original Golbez deck, right? The break one, bring out all the 2 costs. But this is kind of what I'm talking about, right? All of these are a good way to deal with your opponent in different ways. Like if they do aggro, dropping Ruby Conte out first would be a pretty good idea, right? You block one, shoot another one. If they're not aggro and they're mid-rangey and like a weird mono deck, you drop the Scarjo. He's really good to deal with like monocolor decks and at least breaking stuff, and helping deal damage to things. The Cagnazzo's the slow roll, right? If you wanted to let him build up counters, and this barb is kind of like I don't think this is the best choice, but it's for single targets, right? Obviously, if you have some way to ping down damage, I don't know if any of the cards that that associate with 4 and Golbez relatively help that way, but you know, again, this was a good card for a long time, so it makes sense. I pulled up, I have all the Archfiends here, right? So my choices would probably be, yeah, the 9 cost Rubicante seems good. Definitely the new Scarjo. Barb, this Barb is actually the one I would play, and I would probably pick up this Cagnazzo as well. The reason I say that is because, again, this one can kind of slow things down if you're lucky enough to keep him alive. But we could actually drop the original one, and until the instant all 4G control loses 1,000 power. Yeah, but he takes reduced damage, so he can soak up like blockers like nobody's business, especially if they're smaller size. So this Cagnazzo might actually be better for the, you know, for against the aggro matchup. And if the Golbez does manages to get his way out, he's at 8k, and he's just sitting there like the turtle that he is. So, yeah. And then one of the things two things I want to point out is, one, if you're really interested in this Golbez deck, I would start picking up these full arts right away. They're not too pricey right now, so maybe just get ahead of everyone else. And 2 is this Barb is actually really good. When she enters, deal 2,000 damage to all 4 your opponent controls. Each job Archfiend for each job Archfiend forward, right? If you put this into like at the last one of his warp, you're dropping and clearing the board. So assuming you had them all, obviously, right? That's the dream. And if he does get a modded for whatever reason, at the end of the turn you just search for him and bring him out anyway. And then you have your plus 3,000 to all of these guys. So, yeah, that's all. That's all I kind of had in mind here. We already talked about the searchers and how to get them, and you know, and what he's used for. I think the card is great. I think it's gonna see play. I think it'll see play early on. I don't know if it'll stick because obviously we don't know what else is coming. But it's a very, very, very good start for the warp stuff. I liked it, so I'm happy with it. He goes on to talk about the next card will be a character that uses paintings and who appeared in the title that features many protagonists. This was a pretty easy case to crack, I think. Everyone knew that it was Realm right away from 6. So I'm excited. She's always been in water, I believe, until... she's always been in water, so I'm only going to guess that it's another water legendary, which makes me very happy. So we're going to make sure to do good with that one. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this one. Just drop it off in the comments and let's discuss. But as always, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later.